Okay guys, so we're out here on the water today, and of course obviously we are doing the bait finesse test of the shallow spool for the SeaSir M1. Now I just want to say that I have no doubt in my mind that the deep spool of the SeaSir M1 can probably do bait finesse quite easily since it's so light and small, but in this video we're going to test out the even lighter, much shallower spool to see how bait finesse capable this reel can be. Now to do that, I've mounted the M1 on the infamous Mavlo's plume, and I spooled it up with 2-pound trout magnet line, and it's probably filled up just halfway. So let's get started. All right, so now it's time to set this reel up, and I'm going to pay special attention to the spool tension. And once again, the spool tension knob is extremely hard to turn. In fact, I don't think I can turn it. And there's probably 1/4 of a millimeter of side-to-side play. Pretty much set up just like in the previous test. And the first lure we're going to test out is going to be a 3-gram popper. I think it's a REVO popper. And I'm going to turn the brakes up to number 8 just to be safe. And let's start casting. Okay. With the brakes turned to 8, which is near maximum, we're looking at probably just over 10 yards. And here comes the rain. All right, I'm gonna go in the car till this rain passes. Okay, let's keep going. Let's do an overhead cast. Okay, a little bit better, but of course, not surprisingly, this probably close to 4-gram spool is handling 3 grams with no issue. Distance, not super impressive though. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, off camera, dial the brakes down as low as they'll go, and then we'll see what happens. Okay, so off camera, I was able to dial the brakes down to around 5 or 5.5 before the spool started to blow up. But check this out. Boom. So by finding the limit of the brakes, we have probably doubled the casting distance for this 3-gram popper. All right, let's do a sidearm. Now, I am on the absolute limit because there is some fluffing on the spool, but we went from about 10 yards to easily around 20 plus yards in casting distance. Boom, look at that. Let's try to redo that cast because it landed in a light spot. Oh, I blew that spool up. But yeah, the cast went from about a little over 10 yards to a little over 20 yards. All right, we'll do a couple more. Oh, wow. I think I need to go to 6 on the brakes. So for a static mag track style system, these brakes are pretty impressive. No fancy dynamic moving parts. Nothing, just the brakes being placed evenly around the brake hub and them being just smaller than standard Matrax brakes seems to do the job. Boom, look at that. So 3 grams going over 20 yards. Boom. Very impressive, but it's not gonna win any kind of distance contests, I don't think. Put it up against some of the top BFS reels like the ALDEBARAN, maybe like the HIBO or Rise reels. Pow, look at that. They could probably take this lure and launch it, I don't know, at least 25 to almost 30 yards. But keep in mind, this is a $69 reel on Amazon. I see some crazy action here. Let's see if there's a fish that's gonna take this. Ooh, I see a bass underneath it. We can have a fish catch. That popping noise is definitely drawing some attention. All right, I'm gonna take one more pass in this shallower area. See if we can get a dink bass to take this. Now this rod is definitely not a rod I would use for poppers. It's very soft. Soft and moderate. But it's doing the job. All right, we'll do one more cast of this 3-gram popper before we change up lures. Boom. All right, now let's get to an even lighter lure. Okay guys, so the test is getting much tougher now because we have got a lure here that is half the weight of the previous popper. It's a Stonefly imitation soft plastic with a Trout Slayer jig head. Weighs about 1.5 grams. And I'm gonna turn the brakes up to 7 just to be safe. And let's see what this M1 BFS spec can do. Okay, not surprisingly, it cast it out there pretty easy. Good accuracy. It's going straight. It's not going off to the left. Now, I will say I normally would not be filling up the spool with this much line when fishing lures this light. But I did it because I wanted to use up all the remaining line on that trout magnet spool. All right, so I think the brakes are kind of affecting the overhead casting. I will have to adjust my cast stroke. There we go. I released a little bit sooner. But yeah, we're getting, I don't know, a little over 10 yards, maybe like 40 feet. And I have a feeling that this reel can do better. So we'll do one more cast. So keep a mental picture of where that's landing. And let me dial these brakes down. Okay guys, so I actually was not able to go that much lower on the brakes. We are on 6. And let me show you what the M1 can do now. I'm getting some overrun. I'm not sure why, but the casting distance doesn't improve that much We're probably talking an extra couple of feet on the very best casts. I think this lure is probably the issue, how it's situated on this jig head. Holy crap, there's a drum right here. Wonder if this drum will take, it's not a big one. Let's see if he'll take this stonefly. Where did he go? I don't have on my polarized glasses. But if he would have took this, that was probably like a pound. That would have been a fun fight. All right, let's do a few more casts. So yeah, we're looking at roughly the same distances. I'm seeing some lightning. It is time to get back in the car. All right, so to end this test off, we are going to cast a lure that I'm pretty sure everyone saw coming. That of course is going to be the famous or infamous 1 gram trout magnet. Now, I went ahead and set the reel up, and basically the lowest I could go to get consistent casts that didn't blow the spool up is number 6. And let me show you what this M1 with the shallow BFS spool can do. Here we go. Still got a blow up right there. I don't think the M1 likes soft plastics that tumble through the air. Hopefully you guys saw where that lure landed. I'm gonna turn the brakes up one more click. But we're probably getting, I don't know, close to 30 feet. And the lure is going off to the left. Reminds me very much of the KASTKING Kestrel Elite. So if I turn the brakes up for no overrun on the cast, definitely seems to affect the accuracy. Let's try to do overhead. But if I turn the brakes down, I would have to not cast as hard for distance, but the accuracy will go up just a little. But the spool still blows up on me. Now, could this be resolved by tightening up the spool tension all the way to get rid of that little bit of side-to-side play? Possibly. And also, would I get better performance out of this M1 if I didn't fill the spool up as much as I did? Definitely. So normally I would put about 75 foot of line to cast a trout magnet, but I have well over probably 150 foot. But let's cast a few more times. I've turned the brakes up one click. Distance just not that impressive. It can do it, but there are other reels that do it much easier. All right, so this is the perfect brake setting. Accuracy is acceptable. Distance, I guess it's acceptable. We're looking at about 35 feet. There's a bunch of carp swimming around here. I'm hoping one of them gets in the mood and takes this trout magnet. That would be a ton of fun. All right, let's see if I can get just even a bluegill to strike this white trout magnet. Probably not the best color, but I picked it so you guys could see it better in the video. Nobody's wanting a white trout magnet. So yeah, this shallow BFS spool for the M1 can easily do ultralight bait finesse, but there are other dedicated bait finesse reels that can do it better, but you know, they don't come with that versatility of having the spare deep spool where you can just go straight up bass fishing. So the previous reel that I tested that had a double spool set up, the Lure Star C9 Air, there is no way I would attempt to cast a trout magnet with that reel. Ooh, how'd it blow up? But the fact that this M1 can go from, you know, bombing out a Lucky Craft gunfish, topwater bait almost 50 yards to just in a few minutes throwing a 1 gram trout magnet acceptably, is something that I don't think any other reel can say. And the fact that it's $69 on Amazon, that's something definitely no other reel can say. So I'm gonna do some fishing until I catch something, anything. And if I do catch something, I'll show it to you guys. But here we go, guys. The bait finesse test of the SeaSir M1. Let me know what you think. Are you kind of disappointed in its bait finesse capabilities? Do you think it should have performed better given how light the shallow spool is and the fact that the deep spool casts so well? Let me know in the comments what do you think of that. And of course, if this is the first time you're watching this video, I recommend you check out my previous 2 videos on this reel. And if you are wanting to buy one, the Amazon link will be pinned in the top of the comments. All right, guys, thanks a lot. Oh. Success. We've broken in the SeaSir M1 with some kind of a panfish. What is this? Is this a warmouth? Is this what they call a warmouth? But yeah, SeaSir M1.